Hello, welcome back to Barely Keto. I'm Carl, and this week I'm going to make cauliflower gumbo. It's really flexible, delicious. Let's go. The most important part of this recipe is something called a roux, which I've got cooking on the stove behind me. So while I did all the other prep work for the vegetables, I was melting 1/3 of a cup of butter with 1/3 of a cup of flour and just constantly whisking that until it turned this lovely peanut butter shade of brown. Now, some like to go darker, almost to a cocoa color, but it's been on the stove now for half an hour, and I think that's probably enough time. So when we're ready, we just throw the veg in. Now I've already done the prep work on this. We've got a couple bell peppers, some celery stalks, a couple small onions that are diced, and a cup of okra. And the recipe will be up on the Google Drive as always. Just slice that to whatever size you'd like to have. So you throw that in the pan, and then we're going to bring over the roux. And we're going to just put that in with the spatula. And you want to then stir it so that it combines well. And one of the purposes of the roux, beyond giving it like a really interesting base for the flavor palette, is it also will help give you a little slight thickening effect. Now we've got some spices here: paprika, cayenne pepper, thyme, oregano, black pepper, some minced garlic cloves. And we're going to stir that in nice and thoroughly. It already smells fantastic at this point, by the way, but I say that about everything, so don't trust me. And then 2 cups of crushed tomato sauce. It's a 14.5 ounce can. I just can never find that size, so I just took it out of a 28 or 29 ounce can. I forget what they sell it as. I poured it in, which gave me most of the fluid from the can, so you might want to use a spoon to get that. And then we've got 3 cups of chicken stock, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and some Tabasco, actually. And you can use beef stock if you want to try it. You could use vegetable stock. This is a pretty vegetarian meal at its core. So I'm going to throw in the cauliflower, and it's too much to stir at this point. So you're basically just going to push it in so it's in the sauce. See how tight that is? That's a 6-quart pan, by the way. And then once you get that where you want, that's when you're going to tuck in your bay leaves. And this will soften up as it cooks, so it won't seem quite so full once that cauliflower softens up. And I've tried it just this way and then cooking it through for 6 hours until it's done. That was the first time I've had it. I've made it 4 times. I didn't care for that. So we're going to come back and I'll show you a little hack I did at the halfway point. So see you in 3 hours. On low. Okay, here we are, halfway. So what I figured out is I could it's very much like your classic soup, right? Now I'm not an expert on gumbo, but one thing I've learned in making this 4 times is I don't like soup. So I found a way to thicken it up, which was just to skim off about half to maybe, 2/3 of the cauliflower, throw it in the food processor, and just blend it. And then you want to make sure you grab your bay leaves out of there. You do not want to puree those because they'd make you ill. So just throw in however much you want. You can bring some veg with you if you want as well. And then I'm just going to puree that until it's smooth. It comes out a bit like summer squash. Or if you think of, if you're not familiar with that, think of a pumpkin consistency. And then you're going to put that back into the mix. And then you're going to let it finish cooking. So I'm at the 3-hour point of a 6-hour window on low. Now, I also wanted it a bit heartier than that. So I'm using some pre-cooked chicken andouille sausage. And you could use pork, you can use whatever you want to use. And that's it. You can serve it, cook it another 3 hours, and it's ready to go. Now, for variations, I've thought about using boneless, skinless breasts of chicken, whether whole or cut into pieces. And one thing I am definitely going to try is putting in some deveined and shelled shrimp. I think that would be tasty. If you're going to go that route, you'd put it in 2 hours before you were ready to serve it, because that's how long it takes to cook it on the low setting. Have fun with it. Try it once and then play around. Enjoy.